In today's video, we're going to talk about Jonathan Majors and the breaking news that happened overnight, and also talk about Kevin Feige's plan to try and save Marvel from going under. So, yo, what is good, YouTube boys? You here? If you are new around, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, Kaiju, pop culture, Marvel, DC-based content that we do on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know. Is Majors' representation handling the situation professionally? And can Kevin Feige bring Marvel back from the dead? And also, if you could, check us out on Twitter, WarStewG. And also, if you could, check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. So, breaking overnight, Jonathan Majors, managing entertainment company, has parted ways with him after the actor is facing domestic violence allegations in New York City. So he's essentially been fired by his management company, his talent manager, which is very odd because this scenario, this situation happened at the end of March, weeks ago. Had his talent manager dropped him instantly, it wouldn't be as sus. But weeks after, do they know something that we don't know? So this is coming courtesy of Deadline. This is not one of your Twitter scoopers coming out with nonsense. This is actually a trade. Deadline. You can actually maybe trust what they're saying. Exclusive. Talent manager Entertainment 360 has dropped Jonathan Majors. Several sources tell us the recent move by Majors' long-term manager comes 3 weeks after magazine Dreams star was arrested on a domestic violence charges in New York City. It's worth saying that the last video we made, people said he hasn't been charged, literally says domestic violence charges, so he's been charged. Currently starring in Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Majors was due to issues surrounding the actor's personal behavior, we are informed. This is a very interesting case, because this will affect Marvel massively. Majors' representation problems don't stop with Entertainment 360. PR firm LED also initiated a break with the Avengers actor in the last month. As a more minor element of this, Majors and his fashion house, Valentino, mutually agreed that the actor would not be attending this year's Met Gala as one of its guests. Entertainment 360 and LED Company did not return requests for comment. Major has recently shot the second season of Loki Season 2, which he reprises his role as the urban villain role of Kang the Conqueror, and won't go before the cameras in Avengers to Kang's Dynasty for quite some time. Deadline hears there's been zero conversation in the Marvel camp to drop Jonathan Majors from the MCU. It is interesting. So there are reports going out there. No trade is going to confirm that Marvel's dropped him until Marvel comes out and actually says it officially. But one thing I've learned on this channel from covering stories like this for 5 years now, usually when there's a big story about Marvel, it turns out to be true. Now, it is innocent until proven guilty, but being dropped by his management team does tell you a lot, because it was 3 weeks later and not instantly. And you've got to factor in, there's a lot of major statements that came out from Jonathan Majors' lawyer, attorney. I think you call it attorney in America. Jonathan Majors is completely innocent and is probably the victim of the altercation with the woman. So his lawyer says he's completely innocent, categorically innocent. But that was the end of March. It's still going to court. He's got a court case in May, but his attorney came out and said the following: "We are quickly gathering and presenting evidence to the district attorney with the expectations that all charges will be dropped." They weren't dropped. He also went on to say evidence includes video footage from the vehicle where the episode took place, witness testimony from the driver, and others who both saw and heard the episode. Most importantly, 2 written statements from the woman have been redacted, the allegations. Major attorney also released a set of text messages to the press to redact to protect the woman's identity, in which the latter took the blame for the fight. "Please let me know you're okay. They assure me they won't charge you. They said they had to arrest you as a protocol when they saw the injuries on me. And they knew we had a fight. I'm so angry they did this. I'm sorry I've put you in this position. and we'll make sure nothing happens to you. Just call me. I love you. So we all know the altercation was with his partner, who allegedly, according to reports, found some text message from some other girl on his phone, and that's how all this happened. But at the moment, Major remains represented by WME. This article is only stating that he's been dropped by his manager entertainment company, essentially the PR company who reps him. Very interesting story. If true, it is looking very likely that Marvel probably will get rid of him if he's found guilty. Big if. But people don't just drop people they rep for no reason. All right, so in the news. But firstly, let me know what you think about the whole scenario down below. So it's no mystery that Marvel has been on a downward spiral since Robert Downey Jr. left us in 2019 in Endgame. Downward spiral. Phase 4 flop. Phase 5 has also flopped currently. Ant-Man 3 didn't even break even, according to reports. Now, Kevin Feige is trying to shift things. A new report suggests he's changing his approach on how he hires people, hires directors, which is interesting. And it plans to combat the MCU major landslide, major death that they've had recently. So he said this recently in an interview on a podcast, according to Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast. Feige's plan to adjust his hiring strategy by turning to already established filmmakers and creatives. So usually they hire nobodies, but all of a sudden they want to hire people who already have great credentials. He added, Feige does want to hire more established talent behind the cameras, suggesting the idea is to put future movies in the hands of more experienced directors. So as we know, Feige acts as an executive producer on pretty much every Marvel project. He somewhat does overlook them, doesn't really get too involved, which is essentially what James Gunn should do over at DC Studios. We're not sure what's inspired this train of thought on Feige's part. Nothing has been confirmed as of right now. However, this lines up with Deadline's Justin Kroll's statement, essentially what he said last year about the hunt for Fantastic Four. Helmer. Kevin does not want to oversee the entire shoot. One source revealed, and after not having to worry about that with Sammy Raimi, he is very game for the same outcome with this shoot. Pretty interesting, because Disney and Marvel essentially takes away all creative control with whoever is the director, pretty much somewhat to the script writing to a certain degree. If it doesn't line up with their mandate, then you have to rewrite the whole thing or you get fired. So Matt was ultimately chosen to direct Fantastic Four, and whilst he isn't as experienced as Sammy Raimi, he's a trusted talent who delivered a hit in WandaVision for Marvel Studios. So this may help him, but I think they've already kind of digged this huge hole at Marvel. So bringing in talent who can actually do the job they're supposed to do in terms of directing is a massive step in the right direction. Marvel generally like to hire up-and-coming talent rather than talent who are already well-established, which it's a good thing. Why all of a sudden Marvel Studios decides to do this? We know Bob Iger came back as the Oracle and he's going to save the day, and he's like, no, we are going to have quality over quantity. I mean, anyone could have told you that. Marvel was just chucking out so much stuff that quality was lacking. They pushed out Ant-Man 3 to the point where they cut scenes of VFX on. Ant-Man 3 was all over the place. They need to slow things down. Fans want finished projects, not rushed projects. And this stems from the actual script writing, because as I keep saying, there is no superhero fatigue. There is bad script fatigue. There is bad plot fatigue. There is, this story is no good fatigue. There is no superhero fatigue. Just look at movies like Avatar 2. Nothing groundbreaking. Super Mario Bros. $700 million in 10 days. Nothing groundbreaking. That's just sticking to somewhat to the Super Mario origin from the video games over at Nintendo. You just have to have a good story. And I hope Loveness can do it with Kang's Dynasty. But then you factor in all the Jonathan Majors drama, which he could get recasted. We don't know. There are stories out there, but they haven't been verified by trusted trades. But that's never going to be the case until Marvel wants to actually confirm it. So adjusting their strategy for hiring talent is much better. Hire people who are already established behind the camera. Get Zack Snyder in. Bring the Russo bros back because you freaking need them. For sure. But it's interesting. Interesting take. What's inspired this? We don't know. I love it how Bob Iger's going to take all the praise if and when the new strategy actually plays out. I don't think it will, because it's a bit too far gone now, and obviously this can't be this case with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, can't be a case with the Marvels, so it will be whatever film's next, which is supposed to be Deadpool 3, supposed to start shooting soon. They're currently shooting in Captain America 4 and New World Order. But yeah, it's only time's going to tell if bringing well-established talent in will actually make any difference. Likewise, guys, let us know what you think about the Jonathan Majors scenario. Does that mean they're going to recast him? Will Marvel come out and confirm anything soon? We don't know. Is Marvel dead? Can they be brought back from Hollywood death? I get it. They're not actually dead. I get it. I get it. But in terms of them making money, in terms of creativity, they seem to be dead, which they shouldn't be, because they got the Fantastic Four, they got the X-Men. They're building up Secret Wars, which is one of the greatest comic book stories ever. It's not even that hard. It's really not that hard to make a good movie, especially with Marvel's content of what they can do. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarStew. Check us out on Twitter, WarStewG, and I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch you later.